Greetings. Welcome. This is part 13 of my JRPG music tier list, except that this time not everything is a JRPG. Some things in here aren't even RPGs. This is just everything else. Every other game that I'm going to judge by the music. So there's a few games I left out, like Danganronpa and some fighting games where I don't really feel qualified to judge the music. Although, I mean, Danganronpa has some pretty cool music, but I just didn't feel really qualified to be judging it. So I'm sticking mostly to RPGs. So this is just some obscure stuff and famous stuff like Undertale and World of Warcraft. There's just everything else thrown together. So first we got Bahamut Lagoon, which pretty good. I think A rank music, very good style. Super Nintendo tactical RPG, some good boss themes, map themes. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Not like the most amazing stuff, but fairly decent. So I thought A rank. Dragon Ball Z. I don't really remember the music that well. Yeah, I don't really remember the music that well from the DBZ RPG that I played a long time ago, probably when I was still in elementary school. And yeah, it wasn't, it maybe B tier, C tier. Like it's fairly obscure. It's a fairly obscure RPG for Super Nintendo. Yeah, and so there isn't too much to say about it. Yeah, it just felt kind of generic, I guess. Um, then we got Ray Gigant, which as a game it's like borderline between C and D tier, and the music is also probably not as memorable, but probably still decent. It's probably not awful, probably just kind of there in the background. Like it's just the dungeon crawler music mostly. So yeah, there maybe B tier. We got Treasure of the Rudras, which I think is a bit overrated. A lot of people really love the boss themes in this game, but once again, like just like I mentioned with East, Treasure of Rudras has this cheesy guitar vibe to the battle themes, so just kind of overdone. Just yeah, it ends up being kind of generic, but it can be pretty cool at times. So maybe like a B plus, maybe B plus. That's probably more fair. So, but yeah, it's still got some decent music. Then we got Evo Search for Eden. So this isn't technically an RPG; it's like a platformer, but what's interesting is that the composer is Koichi Sugiyama for this game, which means it's the same composer as Dragon Quest. And well, if you watch my other video, you know I like Dragon Quest music. So Evo Search for Eden, it's a very short game. You could beat it in like a day or two, since it's just a platformer. But it's a very interesting, unique game, and it's got some interesting music that goes along with it, and a very unique style and the yeah, so I think it's pretty good. Like it's not a very big soundtrack, but what it does have, it's solid. It's pretty good. So I think I'll give it like a higher A tier, despite this short soundtrack. Let's see. Then we have three Western RPGs. We have Undertale, Witcher, and World of Warcraft. So they're all pretty famous. So first, let's do Witcher first. So I just played the first Witcher game. I thought like I don't remember the music too well, but it's just like yeah, it's just that basic like Western RPG style, tavern music and silence, a lot of silence. Like I don't know, like Western RPGs, they don't always put music in every single location like JRPGs do. Sometimes it's just silence, like some background music, maybe some sound effects in the background. They're trying to be like realistic. If you're outdoors and there might be like birds chirping or something, or just some kind of like wind blowing or something, and that works. Like, or if you're inside a cave, like there doesn't always have to be music. And Western RPGs, I think it's kind of interesting that they do that, and there doesn't always have to be music. And I think the Witcher and other Western RPGs, they just kind of you know they have that, and I think that's decent. So I don't really know how to judge the music because of that, though. It's maybe like a higher B plus, maybe low A tier. Like it's decent, but there isn't any, like I don't really remember the music. I just remember that it wasn't, it was okay. It's probably just good background music, and there's probably some good themes in there. So I think I'll just give it a B plus. Let's see. Then we have Undertale, World of Warcraft. So yeah, let's do Undertale first. So If you watch my other video, you know, like I don't really think the game's that great. It's like as a game, it's like C or B tier. The music, I don't know if it's A or B. Like I'll judge the music a little better, um, you know, because it's got this, you know, it's unique and um, you know, I don't know. Like I think maybe low A. Let's be fair. Let's call it low A. I think it's still probably decent, but I don't like sit there and listen to Undertale music. You know, I don't. This isn't something I normally listen to, but I don't remember it being bad. So I think A is pretty fair for Undertale. Then we got or maybe B plus. Yeah, since I don't remember it that well, let's put it probably maybe better than The Witcher, but still let's probably put it up here. Then we got World of Warcraft. So yeah, I played World of Warcraft for about a month, two different times. So total of 2 months of experience of playing World of Warcraft. I thought it was a decent game. I gave it an A tier as a game, despite the fact that it's not a JRPG. This is probably my highest ranked Western RPG ever of the few I've played. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Very user friendly game. Now the music, huge soundtrack. I don't think I've ever played a game with this much music. It's just and like I said, it's kind of like The Witcher. It has a lot of that background music, just very calming, like just background music, dungeon music, just very calm. Like you know, kind of like with wizardry too. You know, there isn't a lot going on in the music. It's very subtle. You know, I guess Western RPG music is generally very subtle. Like I don't really play Skyrim or Oblivion or other games, but it's very different from JRPG music. You know, they don't always need to have a strong melody or something. It's always just like ambient noise in the background, and that's okay. Like that's cool, but it's just kind of hard to judge it. You know, like would you call the music amazing? Like would you give that S tier? Um, so yeah, it just depends on what you think about it. So there are a few tracks from World of Warcraft I remember really well. Like my favorite, I think, is the Blood Elves like forest. I forget what it's called, but I thought it was amazing. It's got like a cello in it and all that, like the Blood Elves theme. I thought it was really cool. And then there's some other music that's in there. It's really cool, like just you know, good like background atmosphere music, and it's a huge soundtrack, like huge. And so I have a lot of respect for it. I don't know if I'd give it quite S tier, but I'd say A plus. Like I think World of Warcraft has good music. So yeah, I think that's everything. I don't think I'm gonna judge any other games music. Maybe like I've got some fighting games left in Danganronpa, but that's probably not something I'm gonna really give a score to. So that's done. So this is the last one. Interestingly enough, this is part 13, and it'll be released on October 31st, which is Halloween. That's an interesting coincidence. And yeah, so stay tuned for more. I don't know what my next series is. I'm thinking maybe video game characters. I'm thinking maybe I'll rank Final Fantasy characters. So it'll be just a giant tier list split up into several parts. I think that's what I'll do. And then after that, who knows? So, well, see you next time.